Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. So we've been in Senegal since, a little more than 5 weeks now. It's crazy how time flies. And there's been a lot of lessons learned in those 5 weeks. So I wanted to talk about it because there's things that happen here that it's kind of hard to explain. That just like it makes me grow in so many different ways. And for people that have never been to Africa and have never experienced life here, it's like a whole other world. And I absolutely adore it. So we're going to be talking about those lessons today. I might have a special guest that appears to share his lessons of what he learned from being here. So we'll see. Okay. So first lesson, I know some Americans, follow this one, but it's like to an extreme here. And it's on ne jette rien, which is like we don't waste anything. And so everything that you could think of, you don't waste it. So I finish like the container of yogurt, and instead of throwing away, I give it to Ev, who is helping us around the house, and she's saving it and putting like our old food in it and that kind of thing. I think about the kids that I see that are playing on the road and they're playing with an old tire. It's something that we might throw in the garbage and say, oh, we can't use this anymore. But here, it's something that you could either play with or reuse or anything. So we don't throw anything away. And to go on, number two is we reuse and recycle. So I'm a part of, there's so many different Facebook groups here that are like buy and sell and trade Facebook groups. And like you can buy and sell anything and everything. And I'm kind of shocked at some of the things. Like I go into one of the Facebook groups and someone's selling, it's like a Neutrogena face wash that's already been opened and it's already been like a fourth of the way used, and she's still selling it, and because she's like, oh, it's making my face break out, but someone else can use it, and so she's selling it for almost what she paid for in America, and people are buying it. It could be like a perfume that someone used and then they got pregnant, they can't use it anymore, so they're selling it. And so everything, so all the babies, like every single little thing that you can imagine, it's just like we're going to reuse it, and then you buy everything used. Importing stuff here is a lot more complicated, and there's not like an official Amazon, I guess. You could order stuff on Amazon and then have it be delivered here. There's services that do that, which is pretty cool. But instead of going through all of that headache, you can easily find pretty much everything that you need here, and someone already has it and they're looking to sell it, get rid of it, anything like that. Third point is you can do hard things. And so I always think about how can I get uncomfortable? How can I put myself in a situation where I am uncomfortable? And it comes up here quite often. I'm like almost constantly out of my comfort zone. Now it's like more comfortable. Like I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Um, but one of the things that really like stood out to me the first 5 weeks of being here is driving. And this was something I never thought I was going to drive. I told my husband, I was like, we can get a driver because it's insanity here on the roads. It's like there's no rules. You do what you want to do. There's cars, there's bikes, there's scooters, there's public transportation, there's horses and chariots, there's wheelchairs, there's anything and everything that you could imagine on the road with no rules. So it's obviously like chaotic. And some of the time it's like there's no road. It's just like holes and bumps, but like all kinds of stuff. And when I finally went out and I drove on my own, I felt like superwoman. I felt so proud of myself. And every time I do, I feel really proud of myself. I'm like, look what I can do. Because it's not easy and it's kind of scary, but I'm like super focused. I'm not multitasking usually and like talking on the phone or anything like that. And I'm really proud of myself. So I want you to think like you can do hard things, and I want you to think about the thing that scares you, the thing that makes you uncomfortable. How could you actually do that and pursue it? Because that's when you grow. And we're going to move on to our last 2 points that are going to be coming from our guest speaker. Hey, you got to put on the mic so they can hear you, buddy. All right, and you got to speak up, okay? So this is TJ. How old are you, TJ?
7.
7. All right. So, what's a lesson that you've learned from being in Senegal?
Even if you don't have much, you can still make a big difference.
Even if you don't have much, you can still make a big difference. All right. What does that look like?
Even if you don't have a lot of money, you can still make a lot of people happy and worth.
How do
And
you mean that?
so one time I was at the store here, and the
You
guy.
speak normally. Yeah. Just speak up in your regular voice. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a guy who so he was like pushing the cart outside, and he put everything in the car trunk, like everything by himself. And he didn't have much money. He was wearing sandals, and he was wearing old clothes and everything. So
And he was still really generous with his time and his resources, right?
you don't see that a lot in America, do you?
I don't know. So, what's your other thing that you learned?
With a lot of money comes great responsibility.
With great power
Great responsibility.
comes great responsibility. So, what does that look like to you?
If you have a lot of money, don't spend it on silly stuff,
Yeah.
and also save it and invest it.
Save, invest, and what else?
And don't spend it on stuff you don't need.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing from TJ on today's episode. It's been really cool to see just like seeing Senegal from his eyes and the things that he's learning and the things that he's absorbing. And I think it's awesome for him to get this perspective, especially at such a young age, of what life is like outside of America. Because I think we're so like there's a bubble. We were one last thing you want to say?
Life is also a lot different in France.
What?
Life is different in France a little bit too.
Yeah, you have seen France too. Yeah. So he's gotten to see France and America and Africa. Last thing, you have seen Italy and Israel. You've seen quite a few places, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we were just talking about when you have a business, an online business, you just have to bring your computer and then you can be anywhere in the world, which is amazing. So, yeah, it's been really cool to be here over the past 5 weeks. There's been a lot of lessons learned from me, from him. Um, and have you liked it? How have you liked Senegal? It's a 10? You like it? A 20. Awesome. Yeah, it's been amazing. And one of the things from him, he only brought one toy with him. And that thing that, yeah, one set of toys, like a tiny little Batmobile thing. And that, okay, a Batwing Imaginext. And that has kept him occupied for 5 weeks. And he's like, I don't need a lot of toys. I'm happy with what I have. If you couldn't hear what he said he wanted an old car tire to play with, like he sees the kids playing with here. So we're wrapping up. Those are 5 lessons from 5 weeks in Senegal. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, follow me because I'm posting a lot behind the scenes on our stories that she's making an impact. And I'm just curious, would you like to see some like vlog style things that I could post on YouTube of life here? If if you do, just send me a DM on Instagram.
Wait, on your channel, make a new YouTube channel like Drupinski's and
Ah, see, I got my little entrepreneur here. He wants us to create a new YouTube channel like Drew Binsky so we can show you life here. If that's, I know, a family traveling channel. If that's something that you would like to see, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.